In this video, I'm going to show you how to install the Dolphin emulator for Xbox Series X and S, as well as configure its games list and go over basic controller settings. SirMangler's Dolphin for UWP continues to be nothing short of an awesome emulator port to Xbox Series X and S. It gives us the full standalone version of Dolphin with nearly all of its features intact. Combine that with a very usable front end, and it is just a great experience all around. Because there is so much to do in Dolphin and I'm tired of having 45-minute long videos, I've decided to update my Dolphin guides to the latest versions of SirMangler's Dolphin port and do them in a similar style to my XBSX 2.0 videos, thus making them shorter and more focused on different aspects of the program. So again, in this video, we're going to cover install as well as just setting up your games list. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, as we begin setting up Dolphin emulator for UWP, there are a couple of things that you need to have for the Xbox side of things. The first of which being an Xbox that has been activated into dev mode. So if you have not activated dev mode, I'm going to link you to my RetroArch setup guide for the steps on how to do that. That way we could keep this guide a little bit shorter. So link to this will be in the description below, and it will get you all taken care of for getting dev mode set up and activated. The second thing you are going to need is a USB drive formatted to NTFS with proper security permissions. So my RetroArch setup guide has a manual method of doing so, which works just fine, but if you'd like things to be a bit easier, you could check out my USB formatting guide right here. Again, link will be in the description below. Very simple to get set up using this method, and if you're running on Mac, you can run a VM to get it done as well, so two guides on how to do that if needed. Next, we are going to need the latest version of Dolphin emulator for UWP from SirMangler's GitHub, so link to this download page will be in the description below once again, but just look for the latest green box here to know that you have the latest version. Ignore version numbers for the video because obviously version numbers will change. So grab the latest build, scroll down to the assets, and download the AppX bundle. And now that Dolphin for UWP is downloaded, let's go ahead and get it installed. So from here, get booted up into dev mode on your Xbox Series X or S, get it connected to your home network, and make sure that you have a remote access IP address listed. And if you haven't already done so, go into the remote access settings and set up a username and password. It isn't always needed, but most of the time it is, so just a little helpful hint there for anyone having trouble accessing the remote access IP address. But write that IP address down if you need to, or just have it on the second screen, what have you, and move over to a computing device that can read NTFS formatted hard drives and has a web browser. So I'm going to switch back over to my PC here. So over on the PC, I typed in my remote access IP address into my internet browser, and you might get a warning popping up saying your connection isn't private. Just click on advanced and tell it to continue anyway. And then you enter in that username and password that you set. Once the device portal loads up, under My Games and Apps, click on Add. Now you can drag your Dolphin for UWP AppX bundle into the box here, or click on Choose File. Then just navigate to where you have Dolphin downloaded if you chose Choose File, and select the AppX bundle. Now click Next. There's no dependencies for this one, so just click on Start. And there we go, the install is now complete. And with that, we no longer need the Xbox device portal, so you can just go ahead and close it down. Now to finish the initial install of Dolphin, we're going to go back over to the Xbox, navigate down to the program listing here under our dev mode home screen. Now press the back button, view button, whatever the frick it's called. Go down to view details and change it from a UWP app to a UWP game. And I always like to restart my console after doing this. It probably isn't necessary, but I really don't care. I do it anyway because why not? So just going to let this go ahead and restart. But we're going to go ahead and move back over to the computer now so we could get our USB drive set up for Dolphin. So back over on the PC, I have my Xbox USB drive plugged in and opened up here. So the first thing we're going to do is create a Dolphin user folder. This is where all of our Dolphin settings, HD texture pack, saves, and all the fun stuff are going to be stored once we get it set up within the Dolphin program. So just on the root of the USB drive here, I'm just going to right click, make a new folder, and name it Dolphin. There we go. That is now complete. Now we just need to add games. So Dolphin supports GameCube games, Wii games, WiiWare, Virtual Console, and then any homebrew you might want for GameCube or Wii. So if you happen to have a large physical collection of GameCube and Wii games and happen to still own a Wii that is modded, you can dump those games from your own physical collection with a guide I have on the channel here. Otherwise, you're just going to need to resort to the Googles and find things that way. But as always, illegal download links are not provided on this channel. As for dumping your Virtual Console games, I have not created a guide for that just yet, but the process is pretty straightforward, so I'm hoping to have that for you soon. But once you have your games sourced, they just need to go wherever you want them on your USB drive. So to save time on this video, I'm just leaving all my games already on here. I'm not going to transfer them over again, but I have them separated into different folders. So I have my GameCube games and my Wii games, as well as a Wii Virtual Console folder. So anyway, GameCube games can be in a variety of different formats. So there is ISO, GCM, and then you can compress them into GCZ. And then I believe RVZ also works with Dolphin for UWP now. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But I have my games compressed into GCZ format here, and then I have my multi-disc games in their own separate subfolder. And I don't need M3U files anymore because this ain't RetroArch. There we go. Now, as for Wii games, it's pretty much the same thing. You can have them in ISO, CISO, GCZ, but I wouldn't recommend leaving them in like WBFS format. That always seems to be causing everyone trouble in my comment section. So if you have your games in WBFS format, get those converted over to something a little more traditional. But I have ISO, CISO, and then I have a couple of WiiWare games here, Mega Man 9 and 10 in WAD format. And then, of course, Virtual Console games are all going to be in WAD format. But once you have created a Dolphin folder and have your games placed on your USB drive, you can go ahead and get it disconnected and moved back over to your Xbox because we're ready to begin setting up Dolphin. So once you have your USB drive placed on your Xbox, make sure to choose media if it's the first time you've ever hooked it up. Otherwise, everything you just did will be deleted and it sucks. But once it's in place, you got the pop-up saying it's good to go. Just go ahead and boot into Dolphin Emulator. Now press your Start button to open up the settings page. And you can navigate the menu with your D-pad, thumbstick, doesn't matter, but you'll see that there is a nice blue selection box around the two boxes that you can do here. So we're going to choose the one on the left, and now we can navigate the options here. So scroll down to Paths, press A. Now press B to bring your selection box back out to the overall view here. And we're going to set a Dolphin user folder location. So just press A on this. Now navigate down to the little USB symbol here and choose your Dolphin folder. And now just go down and press A on select. Now once you have that set, go ahead and press your guide button and exit out of Dolphin. And now load it back up. That way it creates all of the folders within that user folder on your USB drive. But now let's get our game list set up. So going back into the settings with the Start button here, we're going to select the left box again and go down to Paths. Now press B, go over to the other box, press A, and we're going to add a path to our games folders. So just press A on Add Path. Now navigate to your USB drive and start selecting where your games are stored. So you might not have your games in the same place as I do. So again, it's wherever you stored your games. But just select the folders and add as many as you need. So I have 3 folders for my games. So now we're going to do Wii. There we go. And finally, Virtual Console. And once you have those set, just press the B button, and it might look like it froze for a little bit, but just give it a minute while it populates your games list. And once the list has been populated, you can scroll through all of your games. Now, do be aware that the first time you scroll through your games list, it's going to be pretty laggy while it caches everything. So it's pretty slow right now. Like, that's just to be expected. Once you get everything cached in, everything goes a lot quicker. So if you have a huge selection of Wii and GameCube games, you're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. But once you've gone through and selected each game from your games list, you can see that you're able to more quickly navigate through all of them on subsequent passes. So, again, it's just unfortunate, but it's something that is just part of the program. Now, one nice thing with current builds of Dolphin UWP, we can actually separate our games into different formats. So we got Wii games, GameCube games, and then WAD and ELF files are separated in their own systems now as well. So pretty cool. If you don't want to have everything just on a single screen, you can break them up. Now, another cool feature, if you don't like having the cover art, you can just press X on your controller to bring up a games list view, which is much quicker to navigate. Definitely not as pretty, though. But now to play games, all you need to do is scroll over to them and press A to launch them. And now you can play through them like you would any other GameCube game on a real system. So, yes, we need to create a new system file for Resident Evil 4 here. But there you have it, GameCube games up and running on the Xbox Series S in my use case here. And under default settings, everything in Dolphin runs pretty well. Again, we're going to be going over a more in-depth look at detailed settings in other videos. Right now, we're just trying to get you up and running, so that way you could just enjoy some games right out of the gate. But once you're in a GameCube Wii game, you could just click down on both your thumbsticks, so L3, R3, to bring up an in-game menu. And there's a number of things in here that you might be interested in, such as changing discs, save states. You can also change options, and then, of course, net play. You have to be in a net play lobby before, but yeah, we'll go over net play in another video. But you can also exit games directly from this menu just by pressing A on exit game. And sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. So just be aware of that. It's not really the most functional of option. Not yet, anyway. Well, there we go. It just completely crashed it. So, cool deal. So, just load back in. So, by default, Dolphin maps 4 controllers to GameCube games, so you can play multiplayer right out of the gate. No extra setup required there. I plan on going over advanced controls in a separate video because the default button mapping might not be up to everyone's liking. So I went ahead and got loaded into Mario Kart Wii here. So if you plan on playing Wii games, there's a number of default controller profiles available depending on the game you're playing. So for example, I have a Wiimote plus nunchuck selected right now for Mario Kart Wii. So if you go into the quick menu with your L3, R3 buttons and head over to the Options tab, down here at Controls, Wii, you can see that you have your different Wiimote ports here, and you can select a profile for the game in question. So Wiimote plus nunchuck, classic controller, sideways Wiimote. So for example, I'm just going to change this over to classic controller real quick. And there we go, controller is changed, press the A button. And now I'm playing Mario Kart Wii with a classic controller instead of a Wiimote and nunchuck. But you can change this on the fly at any point. And there we go. Now I'm back on Wiimote and nunchuck. And then, of course, sideways Wiimote is also an option. And with that, you now have Dolphin Emulator up and running on your Xbox Series X or S with default settings, and you're able to enjoy a vast majority of your GameCube and Wii libraries with relative ease, enjoy multiplayer, and just have a good time with it. Of course, there is so much more you could do to really take the experience to the next level, which is what is going to be covered in additional videos. So be sure to check those out in my Xbox emulation playlist. Link to that again will be in the description below. But that's going to do it for installing and getting your games list set up. Thank you so much as always for watching today's video. I hope you have found it informative and it helps you get Dolphin up and running on your Xbox Series X and S. Now here at the end of the video, I do have a couple of huge favors to ask. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit that like, dislike button, just depending on how much you like today's tutorial, as well as that sub button and notification bell so you can see when new videos go live on the channel. Loads of content always coming your way, and I'd love to have each and every one of you along for the ride. For anyone interested in further helping support the channel and keep it going, you can also check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. A little goes a long way to keeping this place up and running and bringing this content directly to you. Big shout out to all of our current champions. Thank you so much for believing in what we do here and helping us keep it going for so long. You are amazing champions. We just could not do it without you. But until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, keep on gaming, and we'll see you back next video.